Russia has a point that it signed this agreement that would ensure that its exports already get out, but supporters of Ukraine also fully have a right to do business with whom they please. So why doesn't Russia come up with workarounds, though? They complain that they're not allowed in the SWIFT banking system anymore to allow for transactions. So, why don't they come up with their own?
In the previous meetings where there were discussions about the extension of the grain deal, the Russian side called this deal a one-leg deal. And I think this is where Moscow, this is how Moscow sees the deal where the Ukrainian grain is being exported, but Russian fertilizers and their agricultural products are seeing informal sanctions, be it logistically or financially. Now, if this is going to be a deal that includes compromises, I think, yes, of course, everybody's allowed to do a business with whomever they want, but this is a deal, and I think there should be compromises, at least on the side that where Moscow can smoothly export its own fertilizers and agricultural products as well. Of course, this doesn't mean that this is not this shouldn't be seen as a way to legitimize a Russian invasion in Ukraine. No, but this is not legitimizing that. But this is in a way to make a compromise where at least some sort of deal can be achieved, a sustainable deal can be achieved, so that food crises are not skyrocketing, or the world is not facing a global food crisis. I think compromise is key in such moments where wars changing every day, but by different movements, and this is not going to establish peace in the long run. But I think it's a step towards some sort of sustainable dialogue channel that will benefit both sides as well as the international community.
All right, Mehmet, and let's also talk about Syria here. When you see countries like potentially Turkey, but also Middle Eastern countries now meeting with Bashar al-Assad, shaking his hand, he greets them with a big smile like nothing happens. I mean, as we said, this has been 10 years of an absolutely brutal civil war. He's been accused of using chemical weapons. Where's the accountability then once relations are normalized?
Well, I'm not sure if I would agree with your, how you framed it with open arms and smiles and just embracing him. This is not the case, particularly in Turkey. Though we should acknowledge that a wave of normalization has been taking place in the past few years in the region, be it with Turkey's relations with Saudi Arabia, with Israel, with Egypt now, with the UAE, in the post-US withdrawal from the region. I think timing is key here, and Turkey and regional actors have come to some sort of informal agreement that they should be dealing with their own issues without interference of third parties. And Syria has been the missing link, or the missing player in the region, given the fact that for the past decades there has been a war there. Now, Turkey is not opening its arm to, or just extending its hand to Bashar Assad. As you mentioned, for the past 10 years, there's been destruction and killing in Syria. With acknowledging that, it also believes that some sort of normalization must take place, and this war cannot continue. This is an effort not to just normalize relations with Syria, despite all that has happened, but this is an effort to end this destruction and begin a new phase for the Syrian people. This is not without conditions, of course. This will not take a short time to overcome this deadlocks and begin a new page. It will be a long process. It's been 10 years of disagreement and clashes and human catastrophe in Syria. Turkey is not just going to open a new page, but there has to be some sort of dialogue established to ensure the safe return of refugees, to ensure that a terror corridor is not established within Syria that poses a threat to Turkey's sovereignty. There also has to be some sort of dialogue between the two sides for future of Syria in political terms. Now, Whether this will take months or years, it's something that time will show. But I think every step taken towards some sort of sustainable peace or sustainable transition for the Syrians, it's a positive step, and it shouldn't be translated as something that Turkey puts aside all that has happened and now opens arms to Bashar Assad. This is not the case.
All right, Mehmet, appreciate it.